Okay, a lot of people have asked me about, would I be strong regardless of diet? I mean, certainly I put in years of training. I've been training my whole life. It's interesting, this is a video of me pulling 405 pounds for 20 reps. I'm using a double hand hook grip here, which is the best I've done with this particular variation. I've done 21 reps using straps, but this is a little bit harder without the grip aid. So just to put it in perspective, between age 45 and 50, I tried to deadlift. I always wanted to hit 405 for 20, but I only could get about 15 or 16 reps in there. And so when I switched over to a carnivore diet, I just got stronger. I didn't change really much the way I trained. I'm getting older. I'm better this year than I was last year. My second year, almost 2 years into the carnivore diet. So I do think the diet makes a difference. I wanted to talk a little bit about a new study that came out, and I'll do that here in just a second. Okay, I want to comment on a recent study that came out. It came out of McMaster University. Stuart Phillips is one of the authors on that study. For you guys that don't know Professor Stu Phillips, we had him on the HPO podcast. He is one of the world-leading experts in protein metabolism and muscle synthesis. He's a guy that tells you how to put on muscle, and he's done most of the research on that. So he did a relatively interesting study, or he was one of the authors on this relatively recent study that came out recently regarding testosterone and the capacity to put on muscle. And so this was an interesting study done on resistance-trained healthy young men. And what they looked at was several indices of hormone levels, and then they also looked at their androgen receptor sensitivity. And interestingly, what they found was that it didn't matter what the hormone level was with regards to being able to put on muscle. Guys with low testosterone, medium testosterone, high testosterone, it didn't really make a difference. What did make a difference was the androgen receptor sensitivity. So that's interesting, and that's something that I've said this for quite some time. I was interviewed by a guy named Dennis Mang and a couple of years ago, and he was asking me my testosterone levels. I said, I don't really know my testosterone level. It doesn't really matter. What matters is my clinical performance. How strong are you? What your body composition is, what your sexual function is, how your mood is, all the things that we think testosterone does for us positively. That's what counts. It's not necessarily the lab number. So this study kind of lends credence to that. Now, it doesn't mean that having more testosterone, particularly exogenous testosterone, there's clearly there's guys taking steroids, there's guys taking exogenous testosterone, and they put on more muscle, certainly. But what it does show that in the realm of a natural, unsupplemented person, there are multiple feedback and regulatory loops that will show, that are in play. And so it's not directly X amount of testosterone is going to equal X amount of clinical function, whether that's muscle or anything else. Receptor density has a role, receptor sensitivity has a role, secondary signaling pathways are all going to have a role in this. And so, again, that's why I emphasize it's important to worry about clinical function more so. Again, worry about the number that's on the bar. How many pounds are you lifting? Not whether your testosterone is 300 or 600 or 800. Those things are not clinically that important. Now, it doesn't mean there can't be guys that don't make enough testosterone. Certainly that happens. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people are put on supplementation probably unnecessarily, particularly if they do not have real clinical need for this. And more importantly, and I've addressed this in other videos, there are a lot of things you can do lifestyle-wise that can fix those things. And one of those, well, let's talk about some of the things that improve androgen receptor density that we are aware of. We know that resistance training will improve androgen receptors. Steroids, drugs will actually improve the androgen receptors, as far as their density sensitivity. Compounds found in meat like carnitine also have been shown to improve androgen receptor function. Infrequent meals have been shown to do that as well. Things like L-DOPA have also been implicated in that. L-DOPA is a Parkinson's drug. Again, no one needs to be taking that stuff for improving their androgen receptors. But again, the bottom line is we have to get beyond the simplistic one variable, one lab marker is somehow going to tell us everything we need to do. And so these people that are fixated on a certain testosterone number, again, look at the clinical function, look at the clinical outcome. Those things are more important. I will link that study for you guys in the description. Read it, learn a little bit. It's interesting stuff. There's a lot of things we don't know. Again, thyroid, same thing happens with the thyroid hormone, likely, and there's some articles on that. Steve Finney wrote a nice article on that talking about low carbohydrate and decreased thyroid hormone level, circulating level, particularly 2-3. Again, in absence of clinical deficit, is that really a problem? Probably not. Insulin sensitivity, we're all aware of insulin sensitivity. We want our receptors to be sensitive. Typically, and again, it's not even as black and white as that. I mean, there's a lot of subtlety to this stuff. So again, remember, clinical function trumps anything else. That's what we're wanting. That's what we're wanting for at the end of the day. It doesn't matter if your testosterone is 1,000 if you can't get it up, right? I mean, who cares what the number is? We care about where the rubber hits the road. All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I think the next video I'm going to do, I want to talk about synthetic lab meat because I have some thoughts on that. Is it the answer to all our problems, or are there some issues that we need to be concerned about with that? So I'll put another video on that if you guys are interested. Personal consults, again, got them open for November. Butcher Box discount codes if you guys like some grass-fed meat, go ahead and do that. I've got a code for that. What else is going on here? Carnivore apparel, we got that for you as well. Check out World Carnivore Tribe. We're 21,000 people now. Restoration Health Vegan Recovery Group, well over 1,000 people now for you guys that are considering departing from veganism and want some support. I think that's a good place to go. Anything else? No, I think that's it for now. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good day, and we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.